Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another video on the Antertainment channel. Today, I'm going to be going over some different trending trades right now going on in the NBA, some trade deadline buzz on Twitter, on ESPN, on Bleacher Report, some stuff that I'm just kind of seeing everywhere. So, going to go ahead and get into that. But before I get started, just wanted to give a quick, rest in peace or quick shout out to Warriors coach Dejan Milojevic. Super sad story that dropped today. He died of an apparent heart attack. So the Golden State Warriors and Utah Jazz games are actually going to be canceled tonight. Always sad. He was only 46 years old, so very young coach. Always sad when stuff like that happens, and can't really expect the players to want to play. But shout out to him. Rest in peace. All right, moving on to back to the trending trades. Always weird. I'm not sure what to do after I say something like that, but we're gonna move on. All right. So the first trade I started doing some of this last night. So I started working on trade ideas. But obviously, since then, there's been some developing trades, a trade that finally did go through in the NBA. So here we go. Anybody that's on Twitter, that's out there in the internet universe, I'm sure you've already seen that the Pacers acquire Pascal Siakam in a trade with the Raptors and the Pelicans. So let me zoom in a little bit. ESPN's always a little, not the, zoomed out. They don't have the most friendly website. Sometimes it feels like it's not working. When you want to zoom in, it does it all goofy. Everywhere else looks fine, though. There we go. So obviously, according to ESPN, Indiana Pacers have acquired all-star forward Pascal Siakam in a trade that includes Bruce Brown, Jordan Nwora, fun word to say, and 3 first-round picks to the Toronto Raptors. And that's according to ESPN's own Adrian Wojnarowski. Shout out to Woj. So that's part of a separate trade with the New Orleans Pelicans. They sent Kyra Lewis Jr. to the Raptors and a second-round pick to the Pacers, sources told ESPN. So two of the first round picks are going to go to the Raptors. Those are for this year, so 2024. Indiana's own selection and the lesser of a Utah, Houston, LA Clippers, Oklahoma City pick. That's for 2026. So NBA trades get super weird sometimes, especially with all of these different people and different teams with all the cap and all those rules this year. But I mean, Siakam spent the last 8 years in Toronto. So he's average, let's see what they got here, 22.2 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists this season. So I think this year, he's going to be a free agent in July. So I'm sure you guys might have heard he was included in some trade rumors going to Sacramento. He didn't say that he would want to sign or re-sign with Sacramento, so that kind of held it up. I did see this week that there was people saying that they were going to still be pursuing him, the Kings, but obviously now he ends up on the Indiana Pacers. So, I mean, it's going to be pretty exciting to see them. Pacers right now have one of the best offenses in the NBA. So Siakam's a 2-time All-NBA forward. As I mentioned, he is going to be a free agent. Bruce Brown, probably the biggest name thrown back in that trade, is averaging 12 points on 47.5% shooting. Let's see what else they got in here. What else they throwing in here? Yeah, that's what ESPN's got. But, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. Like I mentioned, Indiana has one of the best offenses right now in the NBA. Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, Ben Mathurin, Miles Turner. They got themselves a little whip. So, I mean, I know in our group chat today, things were popping off real quick. I know some people some of my friends, calling them people, they're talking about Indiana Pacers potentially going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't think so. I mean, they probably got to get through Milwaukee or the Celtics. I don't see them getting through either. I don't even see them being able to get through Philadelphia. But I guess they could. They did beat Milwaukee twice in 1 week, and for that in-season tournament, they beat them to make it to the championship in the in-season tournament. So it's not completely far-fetched that they could, make a run. But I think Giannis is going to be unstoppable in the playoffs, especially with Dame Lillard next to him. But this is definitely going to be a big game changer for the Pacers. I mean, they get somebody big on the wing that can score, that can play defense, another person you can throw the ball to and get a bucket. I know a lot of people say that it's like Miles Turner and Tyrese Halliburton. I don't know how I would feel about Miles Turner being my like main big guy or my second option for a contending team. So Siakam's definitely an improvement for their team. And let's see, we could pull up their roster real quick. Sting moves pretty quick though. So let's see, like this cool little window we got going up here, man. Shout out to learning how to do things. Feels super fancy. I'm putting like a little graphic up here. Wow. Win for me. All right, let's take a look here. Let's find the Indiana Pacers. I mean, realistically, I guess Matherin, a couple of these guys could take off and be better, but they're probably still maybe another move or two away from being true Eastern contenders. I mean, unless Halliburton, which he's already probably one of the best players in the NBA, unless he just takes like another step to another level, but we'll see. Stay tuned. Let's get this roster pulled up. ESPN, slowest website in the world, man. Shout out to you guys though for all this information, but let's get the servers up. Let's get some internet speed. All right. Here we go. Indiana Pacers. Toronto obviously looks like they're going young, bringing back. I mean, Bruce Brown, that'll be interesting. I don't know if he ends up staying there. I mean, he's a good kind of, I guess, like culture builder, if you want to use that word. But overall, I mean, Toronto, I don't see them going anywhere soon. Pretty young. They got Quickly now, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes. They traded OG for Quickly and RJ Barrett. So definitely a lot younger. They lost Fred VanVleet last year. So looks like they finally decided to start over, at least start putting together a younger team. People probably weren't really going anywhere. All right, roster here. All right, I'm telling the website to hurry up and go faster than once it actually loads. I'm not even ready. That's how it goes. All right. All right, so Kendall Brown, I don't think he's really getting playing time. Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, Isaiah Jackson, James Johnson, who they recently got. That was funny. I think after that fight that they had, they went out and signed James Johnson, black belt and something, and some fun stories. You could look up on YouTube some James Johnson stories. Those are funny. Ben Matherin or Benedict, TJ McConnell, Andrew Nemhard, Aaron Neesmith, Ben Shepard, now Pascal Siakam, Jalen Smith, he's solid. Obi Toppin, Oscar Tesboy, Miles Turner, Jarris Walker, Isaiah Wong. I mean, they got a really solid team. I don't think a lot of big names. Obviously, for those like NBA heads and people that keep up with NBA, you probably know a lot of these players, but really solid roster. I think maybe and a couple of the young guys could step up. Matherin, Nimhard, that's going to be interesting to see how he does this year. I mean, Neesmith has been good. So it'll be interesting to see what they do if they're going to stick with this team and kind of see how it builds out. Or are they now kind of in like win now, let's go for it mode, especially with someone like Halliburton. I mean, they're going to pay up, obviously, but I mean, when he's young right now, it's probably the best time to try to win, try to get something done. They got a good team. Rick Carlisle is always one of the best coaches, always has one of the best offensive ratings. So, I mean, it's going to be super interesting to see what they end up doing, and they're an up-and-coming team. And it's unfortunate for the Chicago Bulls because they're in our division. So, I mean, obviously, division, that stuff doesn't really matter anymore just because of Eastern Conference, Western Conference, all that stuff. But I'm old school, man. I still like, I'm not really old school, but I still like thinking about the division. Milwaukee, Indiana, Detroit, us, Cleveland. Bulls are literally fourth, man. And if you can't tell based on the hat, the shirt, the Jordan, let's on Benny the Bull, the blanket. I'm a Bulls fan, bro. Bulls are snoozing right now. Looks like nobody wants any of our players. So, I mean, we'll see what they're going to do. But moving on to some more buzz, not necessarily any trades. That's the first big trade that's gone through, at least right now. Obviously, I guess the OG Toppin. Wow. I guess the OG Ananobi, RJ Barrett and Quickly trade. That's obvious a big trade. Definitely both teams already doing good, but this is probably the best player so far that's been traded in terms of he's actually an all-star, actually made some all-NBA teams. So let's see how the Pacers do. All right, one name right now, though, that's popping right now. right now in the trending trades, DeJounte Murray. I know my last video I did on some of the different like Zach LaVine trade ideas. I talked a little bit about DeJounte Murray or DeJounte. So there's a lot of buzz going on about him right now. He was acquired from the Spurs back in 2022 for multiple first round picks. So Atlanta did give Murray an extension in July, so he does have a contract. But looks like everybody's kind of just ready to part ways. He's being linked to a few different teams. I think he's mostly being linked to the Lakers so far. So it looks like obviously he has a. For those of you, I'm saying obviously like it's something everybody knows. He's actually a clutch, or clutch represents him. So LA LeBron, that they got that clutch connection. That's obviously something that I could see happening there. I mean, they're most likely going to get a lot less back for than what they gave to acquire DeJounte Murray. So whether it's going to just be some draft capital, maybe some rotation players, who knows what Atlanta's going to do. There's also rumors now going around about Clint Capella. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe, they could package together Clint Capella and maybe DeJounte Murray. There are also some rumors online, things like that, saying that, if they're going to really want to get out of that deal, they're probably going to have to include like a Capella or even like a DeAndre Hunter, Bogdan Bogdanovic. So, I mean, these are like you already see all those classic photoshops of every player that's ever decent available to the Lakers, but these actually sound like some names and some things that the Lakers could actually use. So, I mean, the Lakers, they do have a first round pick. I think that they could send to Atlanta. Those could be in either 2029 or 2030. So, I mean, I think they're more likely to give up one or two if they can actually get back Murray and maybe the Capella, have him play alongside AD. I mean, they won the title. They were probably the best when he had like Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee next to him. Or if you can get a Bogdan Bogdanovic, I mean, that's another shooter, another wing creator that, LeBron always needs that. LeBron needs those shooters. LeBron needs somebody else. People keep forgetting LeBron is 39 years old. I don't know how we rate him or what we expect out of that man, but they need some players. They need some help. And it's kind of funny because we say that every year, but it seems like this year, it's kind of more than ever. But there's some other teams right now that are being linked to DeJounte. So those include teams like the Brooklyn Nets. I saw the fire Photoshop of DeJounte and Mikal Bridges, even the New York Knicks, and also surprise dark horse. I don't know how valid the rumors are, but people are saying that the Spurs, him going back to San Antonio. And how funny would that be? San Antonio gets all this stuff for him and then just gives up nothing to get him back. But he's going to be an impact player, probably one of the names on the trade market that could actually make a difference. I don't really know how I like the fit with LeBron and AD. He's not really a good shooter. He's a shot creator, but I think LeBron and AD need some more shooting around them, more playmaking, that like off the dribble shooting. DeJounte is more of a get to the basket, maybe some mid range, but not really any 3-point shooting. So some of the names to watch right now that are going around, still in the trade market, even though they did just pull off that Siakam trade. The Buddy Hield name, he's still out there on the market. I think that Buddy Hield he's a member of the frequent flyer program on the on trade deadline talk for as long as I can remember. Buddy Hield, even before he got to Indiana, and guess what? He got traded. But even before that happened, seems to be on talks every year. He's a good shooter. Seems like one of those players where every team thinks that they're going to be the team to like unlock his talents and take him to the next level. But his name's out there. He's averaging 12 points per game this year, 38% from three. I mean, kind of surprised it's not as much, but I guess his minutes are a little bit down with Mathurin playing better and some of those young guys on the Pacers coming up. You'd think he'd be a solid fit next to Tyrese, next to Halliburton, since he's such a good passer. But some of those other young guys got a little bit more to offer out there. But let's see, what are they offering there? So Indiana, reportedly, according to Mark Stein, they're looking to put like or partner up Buddy Hield with a first round pick. So see what they can get from there. So he's in the final season of his current contract. That's at $18.6 million. So it looks like they're willing to move off that. They're reluctant to include any young players such as Mathurin or even Jarris Walker. So I mean, we'll see. There's probably maybe like a young team out there. I don't know who is looking for Buddy Hield that's going to just give up so little or take back so little. But there's probably somebody out there we'll be interested to see. I think he just ends up staying probably in Indiana. I don't see any contenders or anybody that can really offer anything or that really need him unless it's just like somebody salary dump. They send them to a team. I don't know, somebody out there that can give something up there. Another name coming up a lot, Dorian Finney-Smith, definitely very useful. Somebody you could have on your team. He's an excellent defender, really pretty good spot up shooter. Um, he's averaging 9.6 points, 4.7 rebounds per game in 35 appearances this year. Out of those 35 games, he started in 24. So he's also under contract for one more season. Then he has a $15 million player option. So probably a little more enticing or something better that a team would want to go after since he has that extra year on his contract with that extra $15 million player option in 25-26. And that's via Spot Track. I mean, he's going to be somebody that whoever they get him out to, it's going to be a solid pickup piece. I mean, I remember him back on the Mavericks with Luka when they went to the Western Conference Finals. He's that playoff type of player. I mean, he might not make every three-point shot, but he's playing hard on defense. He's making the right rotations. He does hit threes. So, I mean, I could see him. I mean, it'd be nice, honestly, back on the Mavs. Mavs will be decent. But other teams, you know, maybe even like the Suns, if they can trade again with them, the Lakers, he would be nice on. I mean, he's really one of those players that, you know, plug and play any team. Even if he goes east, I could see being really good if he was like on the Bucks. Bucks could use him. They need another defender, but he's going to be interesting to hear out there. I mean, and the Nets have a ton of other forwards. They already got Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Royce O'Neal, Spencer Dinwiddie, not a forward, but he's a bigger player, bigger wing. Even Nick Claxton, because they have Finney-Smith listed as like a power forward. The dude's 6'6", supposedly 6'6". He looks taller than that, but I mean, even Ben Simmons, if he ever comes back, Ben, where are you, buddy? But I mean, they're kind of locked and loaded at that position. I don't think they necessarily need him. He's not getting as much opportunity as he might somewhere else. So it's going to be cool to see where he goes. I think there's a lot of opportunity. I mean, with a couple of these names, you know, it's going to really make a bigger impact. Another name out there on the block right now, and they all seem to be these bigger forwards, wing players that are out there on the perimeter. But according to The Athletic's Sam Vecenie, league sources say that Kuzma's current price tag due to something, or geez, I just butchered the life out of that. So current price tag for Kyle Kuzma, something around 2 first-round picks or the equivalent value, whatever that means. But he's currently been the Wizards, I mean, statistically their best player, probably their best player. I'm not going to lie. I'm not watching any Washington Wizards games. They're pretty pathetic. No interest in seeing Jordan Poole run a team. But Kuzma's averaging 22.4 points, 6.2 rebounds, and 4.2 assists per game this year. And he's shooting 46% from the field and 34.9 from three. So, I mean, those are solid numbers. And obviously, I'm going to assume the better the team he gets on, those points per game are probably going to go down. But you could see those percentages probably going up. Right now, he's the number one option. So, I mean, 46 and 34 being the number one option, probably shooting as much as he wants. Those will probably go up if he gets some more efficient shots. But, I mean, a lot of teams, I think, out there, some of the similar teams might go after him. People are saying he's being tied to Dallas. I mean, I could see him back on the Lakers. That'd be nice. Lakers, he'd be solid, something they're looking for. He's used to playing with Anthony Davis and LeBron. They need youth. I mean, I think he's better than Rui Hachimura. But, yeah, those are a couple of names right now that are out there. DeJounte Murray, Buddy Hield, Dorian Finney-Smith, Kyle Kuzma. So, I mean, let's keep our eyes open. We got today's January 17th. Trade deadline is February 8th. So still a couple more weeks left. I'm sure some stuff's going to go down. Lock in on Twitter or X. Get your notifications. Pop them and get those things ready to go, man. Here, let's take a look. I'm going to see if there's anything right now trending. Let's refresh this page. Nothing new. I haven't got any notifications, but always fun to take a look. Let's see. Loading. I don't think there's too much cracking since last time I checked. Brand new whip, new mansion. I got options. I got bad at being like that. Let's see. Let's see. NBA buzz. This is the. I mean, you know what? Let's not even take this part seriously. Let's just scroll through NBA Twitter trade ideas. This is like the funniest thing. You'll read something, I get all like crazy. I'm like, oh man, the Wizards have reportedly set a greedy asking price for Daniel Gafford. Then you look and it's like a hoops rumor. One like can't get crazy about these guys. When you get lost in the sauce, you're just on Twitter scavenging through Twitter trades, scavenging through ideas, finding things, finding whatever it takes. You never know. Grayson Allen, I read through that one. That one barely made any sense. And apparently they said that somebody said maybe they'd listen to him. So I don't really think that's a realistic trade, though. Got this weird little Capitan right here. Is this? I don't even know if that's the real Indiana. Is that like a cat? Some type of liger? Draymond's back. They got mollywopped by the Memphis Grizzlies. Destroyed. Hornets rumors. Trade deadline. Untouchables. Rozier and Hayward. Like, who are these pages? Because then I'll see something else, and it's like, Rozier on the move. Do you get bored? Go on NBA trade rumors on X or Twitter. You'll find some interesting stuff, and you'll see some really weird graphics. All right, let's move on. Oh, the story that nobody's talking about. So apparently, via TMZ 516, so maybe about an hour ago, uh, the Newport Beach PD has confirmed that Josh Giddey's case is officially closed due to lack of corroborating evidence. Essentially, the investigation did not progress as no one involved was willing to provide information, leaving Giddey cleared of any charges. And that's via TMZ. I mean, this has been a crazy story. I'm not going to go through all that story because I'm sure everybody's already familiar with it. But basically, allegedly, he was sleeping with some underage girl. Some people say he knew. Other people say they don't. I know really early out, they came out and said, I think that the girl that he allegedly slept with that wasn't of age, that her and her family weren't talking to anybody. So a lot of people are speculating whether, that means that she lied about her age, or maybe she was of age, or conspiracy theory side is that he like paid her off, or that she, got something out of not talking. I don't know. Maybe she just was lying. Who knows? Never going to take sides in these situations. But it's been pretty crazy just the way the NBA's handled it. I understand when there's like an investigation or all that, or they don't know, but also NBA is so soft about everything. I mean, they're always coming down on everyone. So I think this is just a bad look. Dude is under investigation. Probably just shouldn't have played. Just because of all the stuff that happens with all the other players, they're always itching to make examples out of people. And with something as serious as something like this, it's kind of wild just seeing them not talk about it, brush it under the rug. And now it's probably going to be talked about even less. But we'll see. Maybe because the case is closed, people will kind of dig into it more and talk about it more, and be willing to let out some more information. But fucked up ass story, Josh Giddey. You a wild one. But on the dark side of Twitter, look up some of those memes. They're fucking hilarious. If anything happened, he's a piece of shit. If nothing happened, sorry, Josh Giddey. But regardless, the memes are fucking hilarious. Go on Twitter, look some of them up. I think the other day there was like a youth team performing or something behind them, and he was shooting the other way. People are just saying how hard every inch of him to not look and turn around. Fucked up if it's true. If it's not, also fucked up. But crazy ass story nonetheless. I think that's the right way to say it. All right. So obviously this is a little bit of talk about the NBA and all that stuff. But number one, first and foremost, I am a Chicago Bulls fan. So let's take a look what's going on right now. I mean, latest with Zach LaVine. My last video was about the different Zach LaVine trade ideas. Not too much going on right now in terms of like the whole Zach LaVine trade market. We're not hearing a lot, or at least I'm not seeing anything online or anything like that about it. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see if anybody's going to offer him to be quite honest with you, it's actually pretty sad that we're not hearing anything about trades for DeRozan, for Vucevic, for Levine. I mean, realistically, seems like we're just kind of in a bad spot right now as a team. Makes about 0 sense that we have three solid players on an underperforming team, and seems like nobody's coming after them. And I can barely multitask. I can't apparently get to the Bulls page from here. But yeah, nothing really so far with Levine. I mean, the other day, I think, let me see, I got a quote here from Brian. I think it was Brian Windhurst basically saying that if the Bulls found some reasonable trade right now for Levine, they'd trade him, and that he would gladly pack his bags and go to the airport. So man, I just want to know, is it the players? I don't know. I don't get it. Not like Levine's a proven player. He's ever won anything. So it's kind of wild that somebody like that is asking out and wants to leave. You'd think that, this is a team where you have your own team. You're in one of the biggest markets with the best fans in the world, in the United States, all over the world, in the universe. But, and he just wants to leave. Where are you going to go where you're going to get something like that? So, I want to know, is it the fans? Is it ownership? Ownership has been around for a long time. I'm going to kind of lean that it's on them. The only time we've ever won is when, they drafted Michael Jordan, but we got lucky to even get Michael Jordan. We got lucky that Krause found Scottie Pippen. A lot of things went their way. I guess it's not always luck, but since then and before then, it doesn't seem like they ever do anything right. They got lucky, definitely lucky with the Derrick Rose, getting him at that number 1 pick. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with Levine. Super annoying anyway that he plays all these games with us. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Crazy story right here. I'm sure you guys saw that one's talking about Jordan and Pippen missing the ceremony. That's whatever. But Jerry Cross's wife got booed. Fuck. Everybody's mad about it. I get it. But man, we've been booing Jerry Krause for forever, man. Look back at videos in the 90s when they brought him back in the 2000s. Everybody knows that he always brought too much attention on himself. But still did great. I feel bad for his wife. But I think that story's just being overblown. It's just one of those like sensitive stories. They know people are going to click on that aren't NBA fans and get mad and find out about it. Whatever, man. Sorry to her, but we've been booing Krause for forever, realistically. So yeah, man, a little bit more about Levine. Let's see. We're 4-1 since he came back. He missed 17 games. We're 9th in the East in the play-in game. I don't think it really makes a really big difference anyway. Like I mentioned, they'll get rid of him if they wanted to. If they could, but I don't. At the same time, it doesn't really make sense to just get rid of him for nothing. Kind of want to get something back. In the 3 games since he's got back, he's averaging 20 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. He's shooting 42.9% in his 3 games back, and he's in the starting lineup. So they look better out there as a team, but even the other night against Cleveland, we lost pretty bad. We were down already 19 in the first quarter. If you just look at the box score, DeRozan, I think, had 7 or 8 shots. Kobe was the leading scorer that game. Vooch was right behind him. We just don't look like we mesh as a team out there at all. It doesn't look like the team wants to play together. It doesn't look like they're all on the same page. Kind of looks like, things have run its course. And that's why it's more annoying that we don't have any plan, or nobody wants to no one wants to trade for any of our players. We'll see what they pull off, though. More likely than not, we're fucked. But yeah, that game was horrible. I'm looking at some of the notes I took here. Bulls starters all had horrible net ratings. Donovan Mitchell, a.k.a. Spider, little goofy ass, had 34 points. And, man, these are the 5 games since he joined Cleveland against us. First game, 32. Then a pedestrian 15. The next game against us, he went out for that 71. That was fucking embarrassing. Then 29 and 34. So clearly when Donovan Mitchell comes to play against the Bulls, his eyes just light up. I think it makes a lot of sense. He's a big pick and roll player, and he's really explosive. Vooch is fucking ass on pick and roll defense. So he's definitely not able to get in front of him or anything like that. And it just seems like he torches us every time. And there wasn't even any Evan Mobley, not like he's been an all-star or anything like that, but another one of their starters didn't even play, and they pretty much whooped our ass. I mean, they beat us in every category I looked at. Rebounds, assists, they shot better from three. Bulls only they were 9 of 32 from three. Cavs were 20 of 57. So, I mean, not only did they make double the amount of threes we did, but they also almost shot double the amount. So it's pretty sad, man. I don't understand what we're going to do. It's frustrating. It fucking sucks as a fan seeing the Bulls just not improve and be stuck in the middle. Right now, they're somewhere. Let's take a look at what the standings are. Oh, my God. I mean, right now, they're in the mix, but what does that really mean? Do we want to be in another playing game? I mean, I want to be competitive, but this team is just so bad. I want to try, but they don't want to try. ESPN always wants to move snail speed when I want to use it right now. All right, let's take a look real quick. So, yeah, I'm 99% sure they're at number 9 in the Eastern Conference standings. Let's see. Yeah, so we're 9th right now. Looks like we're 4 games back of that next spot. So I don't think we're going to climb all the way to 6. So 6 is where you have to be to not make the play-in game. And looks like I misspoke, actually. Earlier, this is a reference back, but Pacers are actually 6 now. They dropped a game since I made this, and I took those notes yesterday. But, yeah, Bulls are 9th right now. I mean, so we're in the play-in game. We could beat New York or Orlando, but, I mean, they won't. Let's just be real. So what are we going to do, man? I mean, outside of us right now, I don't even see another team really making a push unless it's maybe Atlanta to take the Bulls over. Or if we just blow up the team, I guess anybody can jump us. But, man, things are not looking good. Let me know what you guys think the Bulls can do. Let me know what you think about some of these trade ideas that are out there. What's trending? What do you think some players that should be on the move maybe that aren't trending? But, yeah, man, we're going to really – Bulls, nothing new, but let's put our hard hats on, pick up our lunch pails, and just go to the United Center and see how it goes. And it's not good. I mean, I never wish anything bad, but it'd be really cool if we could just get a brand new owner that just loves basketball and wants to win, not somebody that just views us as a business. Because it's our money, man. It's the fans' money. All you guys do is fuck with it and do stupid shit. Let me come run the team. We'll see how things go, man. I'm not going to run the numbers, but I got ideas. All right, y'all. Thanks for sticking around for this video. For anybody that made it to the end, shout out to you. This is another entertainment video. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to start posting a little bit more, trying to do more than one video a week, maybe doing a little bit more outside of sports stuff. Just been kind of doing this to practice, get some practice in, get my best versions of how to talk and how to do all this shit. But going to start doing some more content, hopefully some different stuff, some, just sharing my thoughts on life and sharing my thoughts on things that happen. But thanks for tuning in, y'all. Stay up. Have a good week. Go crazy.